And we're live, which we are right now. Hello, everyone. How are you? We've got Evan, Amateurs and Airwaves.
Hello.
We've got Sarah, N5ARA, at Radio Girl. We've got Glam Ham in W6S. And we've got Zach, W3ZTV, from at zbear.tech. So we're talking to these lovely TikTok creators today about the stuff they do on TikTok, revitalizing ham radio with a different generation. So how are you all?
Good. I just realized these guys are smarter. Evan, they've outthought us because they have their ats for their handles.
Dang it.
We didn't put the at, which would have so been logical, and yet we're supposed to be smart people.
That's all right.
Well,
just add the at. The at needs to be there.
It's all about the ats. We were just talking backstage about your very impressive station that you're showing off at the moment. You've got Glam Ham. You've got the 7610 sitting there, and you've got on top of it the 7300.
And then up here, I've got the 705.
Oh,
I suppose I could be putting in.
I forgot about that too.
I know you've got this. I think almost all of you probably have this radio. I know Sarah's saving for her 7300. Zach, you don't have it? Okay. All right.
No, I've got the 7300, but not the 705.
Okay. So yeah, I call it the ICOM Tower of Power. I
like that.
It's
Love
like,
it.
Yeah, it's the Shaquille O'Neal of radios.
We're all 7300 owners or ex-owners or soon to be owners.
Hopefully.
So we all enjoy that radio, and they are wonderful. But yeah, that 7610, I think that's my next radio. I've been saying that for a long time, but yeah.
It's gorgeous.
What's going on with your pop filter?
Well, I suddenly realized it wasn't in the right place, so I thought I was being discreet then.
Yeah.
Apparently not, because you asked what's going on with my pop filter.
We just noticed you bent it right out of the way.
I don't know, which is really...
Just do the whole stream like that, and we'll see how we go. Yeah. It looks perfect.
I just need my little hands over here. Sorry, I shouldn't be silly on your YouTube show. Okay.
No, that's all right. We're relaxed. It's time to just sit back and chill, and it's nothing too serious. But what we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at your channels, which I'll bring up on the screen share here shortly. And I guess the first one that I've got queued up here is I've got Evans. I've got yours. Let's bring up your TikTok.
All right.
So I guess the first thing is that I'll actually throw it over to all of you first. Maybe we should actually talk about TikTok first and say what TikTok is. So what is TikTok, and how are you bringing ham radio to that platform? Anyone can go.
Does anyone else suddenly... Are you flooded with impressions of Congress right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Like I'm waiting to bite my tongue to go, well, does it go on my Wi-Fi?
I'm not prepared to discuss my finances.
Is it inside my breakfast? When I eat my oats, is tactic in there? So sorry.
It's a lot of
no.
There is no shortage. There is no shortage of that on the For You page right now. So I think for those of you who are watching on YouTube and wondering what is TikTok, you probably think of it as something that your kids or grandkids use to lip sync and dance. And yeah, someone said people dancing in scary videos. That exists. It absolutely exists. The thing about it is really good at catering and curating videos that match your interests. It's almost scary how good it is at doing that. If you spend a few hours on there over the course of a few days and you follow people that make content you enjoy, you will start to see a lot more content along those lines. You will see everything from comedy sketches, political commentary, and people like us. And yes, there's still plenty of music and dancing and stuff on there. At this point, I see almost none of that because I have
You've
curated
trained
it
it
to a point. I've trained the AI to send me.
At this point.
Yeah.
At this,
Yeah.
I mean, if you set up an account after this stream, you're going to see plenty of that, because at that point it has no idea what to feed you. So it's going to feed you the stuff that is performing the best, universally in your country or wherever you are. But it doesn't take long to follow a few creators, engage with a few videos that suit your interests, to start seeing more like them. So that's always my explanation when people say it's nothing but dancing videos or lip syncing or whatever. There is no shortage of that, but there's thousands, nay millions, of videos about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to YouTube, except it seems to me that TikTok is more powerful algorithm than YouTube. It seems to just, once it locks onto whatever you're engaging with the most, it will just keep sending you to that. And it's very good to, and then of course the more that you engage with it, the more it keeps sending that to you. And YouTube seems to try to draw you to other areas a little bit more sometimes, whereas TikTok seems to just feed you the same thing. So if you get constant cat videos or dancing videos, it might be because you keep watching constant cats or dance videos. So,
Oh, Evan.
Yeah, there's a lot of people online that will say, when there's these people in Congress or whatever, say TikTok is just a bunch of, scantily clad young women in bikinis. And then a lot of people online say, well, you're outing yourself, because the algorithm really does tune to what you are interested in. So, and that's,
yeah. Besides, that's
I don't,
other channels. So.
Yeah.
No one's discovered that yet. That's a revelation.
It's that really glam ham.
Oh.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, in addition to everything everyone said, it's also more bite-sized than YouTube. So I know for me, it's great if I just need to take a little brain break when I'm at work. I can look at a video for 30 seconds and get something interesting that kind of gives my brain a reset and moves me on with my day, rather than having to sit down and kind of invest in a video, where a lot of TikTok or a lot of YouTube videos could be 10, 20, even 30 minutes long. And I don't always have that kind of time to invest into something.
Just pump that audio up a little bit more. We were fiddling with the audio, but yeah, give it 10 dB this time.
How's that?
Yeah, that's better.
Let's get this on the way.
Yeah, we were also saying about, so you guys would all be, I guess, in the education space of TikTok, which is a little bit more difficult than the entertainment side of things, because of how long someone's prepared to listen to a TikTok video especially on ham radio. But what have you found with creating videos around the hobby? Have you found it? You found a lot of good results and a lot of good comments, or what have you found doing that?
Oh, do you want to take that, Sarah?
Sure. Yeah, I found a mix of both. What's interesting is, so I was a YouTube creator originally about 5 years ago. And then I kind of put that down for a while and picked up TikTok. And it's a very different audience, which is what's interesting. So I have found that the TikTok community, at least for me, has been a little bit more inclusive, excited about new creators coming to the platform. I've been invited to so many different things in the very short time that I have been on TikTok. And even in the comments, there's always some negative stuff, but for the most part, it's been very positive. People will check in and add their call sign just because they're excited to see another ham there. Where on YouTube, I have gotten actually one of my second to last videos, and one of the reasons I kind of stopped for a while was I posted a video on something that people deemed controversial. I don't deem it controversial. And I got a lot of negative feedback from that, from people that clearly were not seeing the issue and were kind of actually probably part of the issue. So I've seen kind of two different sides of that, of the community, but granted there was a time gap between that too. So that might have contributed to that.
Who's busting to know what the controversial issue was? And was it a Baofeng?
It was not a thing.
I think I know because I've watched your YouTube channel and I remember when it came out. So I think
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was about sexism in amateur radio. So basically, I did a video talking about the experiences that I had had coming into amateur radio and why it was a problem. And a lot of people told me that it wasn't a problem and that because it's a male-dominated hobby, it's okay to automatically exclude women from it, basically, was the common feedback that I got. So
Wow.
yeah, that was basically
Unfortunate.
the video. So go check it out. It's still up. You can see it. I kind of made, I definitely encourage, if you watch the first video, watch my response video to comments too, because I kind of go more in depth into what the problem is and why it's a problem. So yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of it's one of those funny things, isn't it, in ham radio, that there's always something negative to say. If there's something positive, there's always something negative to say, but usually we refer to them as sad hams. But anyway,
If I can just add something. So one thing I found different between platforms like YouTube and Facebook, on TikTok, it really is a lot more community and based around that conversation, and not so much. You can put a lot of production value into your videos, but it really just kind of breaks down that barrier between the creator and your audience. So on YouTube, I've seen years and years of, you got toxic trolls leaving comments. So if Sarah made a video like that, on YouTube talking about sexism in amateur radio, she'd probably get all sorts of hate type comments and mail coming, and even threats probably. Whereas I feel like in TikTok, it's a two-way street. Yes, you get people who do leave some weird comments, but by and large, it feels like we're in a community, and it's really easy if someone leaves a comment, to just make a video reply to that comment, and it's public for everyone to see, and the conversation kind of keeps moving from video to video, and other people can stitch, which is basically take a portion of someone's video and reply to and comment on that video. So it kind of really opens up that conversation where if I wanted to agree with what Sarah was saying about sexism in amateur radio, I could take a snippet of that and then make a video on my channel and take that conversation to my viewers. And it just kind of is this web of commuting conversation that I've not seen on the other platforms so far.
That's actually a good point, because I know a couple of us have already done it, but there was her name was Emily, and she's not a ham radio operator, but she was writing a book set in the future, and she asked a question about walkie-talkies and about radio, and I think a couple of us answered that in video. So that was good, because that was someone who didn't really know what radio was about or what ham radio was about, or walkie-talkies as she referred to it, and then a couple of us could reply in video using that original thing. So that was pretty good.
One thing that
I agree.
Go ahead, Evan.
Oh, I was just going to say that it's a really good way that if you're needing assistance with a specific topic, that you can kind of reach out to the community for help. Just because you're a content creator there doesn't mean you can't make a video saying, hey, can somebody help me understand this concept better? And it's a great medium to do that. YouTube is really not the place to do that. So it's okay. It's accepted. It's normalized on there to be like, hey, I want to understand this topic better. Can you stitch me and help me understand this concept? That's a common thing that happens there, and it makes it feel more community based and more conversational that way. Go ahead, Natalie.
I was just going to say, one of the things that crossed my mind when you were talking about the curating of it is, how in ham radio we can narrow that bandwidth down when we've got our voice. This is what TikTok reminds me, it can go so niche. I mean, crazy niche, I've never seen anything like that on any other platform. And I've been on social media really with different things. I had a podcast on YouTube and did stuff on Instagram, and I was a comedian for a long time and had a Twitter following, which is, somewhat nightmarish. But TikTok is just like so refined, and what I find what you put out there is what's coming back to you. So we're all putting this good spirit of educating and sharing this great hobby, and I find the enthusiasm and the love that comes back is so positive. I have not seen that on other platforms.
Yeah, it seems to be a good place for a lot of people. At least on my TikTok, I get a lot of people that ask questions, like really, I suppose, what we refer to as beginner questions, and it's really easy and good because you can make a short video that takes like 30 seconds to reply to, whereas here on YouTube, we tend to get comments and it's like they ask a question and it's like you either have to type it out or you have to produce a whole video which can be minutes long or something to describe it. So TikTok's that sort of bam, they get that answer really quickly, and it seems to be because we'll get to some of your channels in a minute, but we're getting there's quite a lot of you guys out there and others who have got quite a few followers and a lot of success with it. So it seems to be doing pretty well.
On that note about YouTube, I see people make videos all the time, but YouTube, it really is based around the creator and their release schedules and their planning of videos and editing and all that. And as I mentioned, it's kind of a one-way street. You get comments back, but you can't easily make those response videos without really kind of messing up your portfolio of videos in a way. Whereas TikTok, it really is that, hey, someone had a question there. I'm on my way walking downtown to go pick up dinner. Why don't I just push record, respond to them, and then keep this conversation going? Who cares if it's not in a studio? So it's.
Well, AI6DG just says, I have a social media account on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, but have no intention to ever get a TikTok account. And that's completely fine. I was actually in that boat for a little while until someone decided to try and convince me to get on the platform, which happened, Evan. But anyway, yeah. But but once I was on there, I found that the value of a content creator being on there was high. And it's not necessarily that we're saying to everyone, who you need to get an account. It's just those who are already on the platform who it's a potential audience that we can spread ham radio to, and we can encourage others to explore, because at the end of the day, we're in 2023. We need to try and get this hobby more up to date, and in this, I was going to say century, in this decade, let's say this decade, and try and get some new fresh people into it. So.
I can see this comment down here. I'm not in the TikTok demographic 55 plus, and I want to throw out there are enormous amounts of people 55 plus, 65 plus, 75 plus. I mean, there are so many people on TikTok. Like half of the USA is on TikTok, and it's not all kids. And I get my stats from my videos and when I go live, and it is really evenly spread. From teenagers all the way up. The pie is like boom, 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 all the way around. So don't feel that you're not in the demographic, because I promise you that demographic is there, and so is the content that you will enjoy.
And on YouTube, it seems to be it is slanted towards the high end of demographics. The 18 to 35. 35 to 40, 35 to 50 is pretty low in the percentage of viewers, whereas, as you mentioned, TikTok is a lot higher. It's more spread. It's more evenly spread.
Yeah.
What's also interesting about TikTok is you don't need an account to view our content as well, which is pretty awesome. So it seems like some people might not be comfortable with creating a TikTok account, but you can still see all of our content. You can still share it with people. So you can definitely still use it, even if you don't want to actually commit to creating an account with it.
IAZoo, who reposts their TikTok videos to YouTube Shorts for those of us who refuse to use TikTok? I do. I don't know about you guys. I think, Evan, you've been doing a couple of YouTube Shorts, haven't you? So a couple do.
Yeah. I'm working on it. That's new for me as of this week, where I'll start cross posting. I've been cross posting on Instagram for almost 6 months or so. And I'm working on doing that with Reels. Now, I will say the thing that you're going to miss out on, I don't cross post everything. If it's one of my reply posts where I may be answering a question for somebody, you may not necessarily see that because to me, I don't see value in posting it without the context of the original video. And it just gets a lot harder to follow on a different platform. So the things that I make for the purpose of educating or sharing, or I make a lot of meme and joke posts too for ham radio humor and radio humor in general. I do cross post those things pretty routinely, but sometimes there's some really good nuggets of wisdom and things that can be learned in that more conversational format. I do not cross post those things because to me, if I was happening across that, I would feel like the context was lost. So I don't repost those things.
Yeah, TikTok's a lot of trends, isn't it?
It is.
There's I might as well throw it out because I guess we all know that TikTok's hanging in the limbo kind of right now. We don't know whether it's going to stay or whether it's going to go. And quite a few of my followers have written to me and said you should get your account on Clapper. So I did just sign up, grab my handle, stick a few videos on, so you guys could always do that just in case. And I mean, for anybody who's, I'm sure this is mostly Hayden's fans here, but I want to start telling my followers on TikTok that if it does suddenly disappear, I have had a YouTube for a long time, which it was my podcast, The Grey Escape, but because ham radio is so popular, I just changed the handle to Glam Ham Radio. So it's the same on TikTok, on Clapper, and on YouTube is Glam Ham Radio. But you guys could do that too, and then you've kind of got this backup place in case TikTok suddenly goes poof,
I took that advice and did download the app and set up an account. I have not posted anything there yet. We'll see, because at this point I want to have I want to really focus my efforts on one or two platforms. And I've had over a year growing the community and following that I have in one place, and it's kind of daunting to think about doing that again. Will I do it again? Yes, but I'm going to have to kind of figure out where to focus if it comes to that point. So, but good tip for sure, Glam Ham.
Yeah, I'm pretty just focused on TikTok. The growth has been incredible. And the difference, I mean, I've put some shorts up on YouTube, and I tried an Instagram and on the Clapper. And I mean, it's just night and day. Like you put a video up on TikTok and it's just like fire, and you can really see what pops, and the comments are so supportive, people from all over the world. And you've probably all of you gone live on TikTok. That's where I find the goosebumps, like people from all over the world and a good spirit, like people just getting along. And when do we ever see that when we look at a screen? We don't see people getting along when we look at their screen because we are encountering other social media platforms in the news. But I find in the TikTok, people are, at least the followers of our specific niches, they're really getting along.
Well, and so that leads into that question, and a couple of you have already answered. So with this ban in the United States that's potentially pending, you've got Clapper, you've got YouTube Shorts, you've got Instagram Reels. What's kind of your plans if it does go away?
Clapper, YouTube for me. Clapper, YouTube.
Yep.
I would say probably those two. I'll keep the Reels going, but I will admit I don't like that format, and considering Meta's responsibility in some of the issues that with TikTok hanging in the balance right now, I don't really feel good about using that platform for that reason as well.
Yeah,
it's a very controversial subject, isn't it? Sorry, Sarah. It's a very controversial thing at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And that's like, for that reason, I really am just sitting and hoping and praying that TikTok doesn't go anywhere, because it's been such a great platform, and it seems like it's a platform that in some ways was made for its creators, unlike a lot of other platforms I've used. So I am going to be the person that does not spend any energy on it until it shows up at my doorstep.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's people with. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I feel like the oddball out because I don't have a history of being a creator. So before TikTok, I did not make YouTube videos. I didn't do anything on Instagram. You know, I post anything on Facebook. I just was a general consumer. And when I got introduced to TikTok, you know, I watched videos and I met a lot of people that I never would have met in person, you know, or virtually. These people included. And you know, TikTok really has. It's not just the app. Well, I guess just the execution, not just the algorithm, but just the format of, like I said, like you open your phone, you can quickly push record, you can just have that conversation. I need to test out a few, you know, Clapper gives me kind of copycat vibes, but you know, if TikTok really does get shut down, it may be the next only option. Now that I've kind of tasted, you know, being a creator, I might post on YouTube, even though that format still seems like it's geared for, you know, full length feature content versus, you know, I know they're doing shorts, but it just doesn't seem like it has that same community vibe. And it's gonna be tough because I really, other than some of the close friends that I've met, I don't know how many, you know, I've got followers, but how many of those actually are loyal enough to follow me to wherever I'm going. You know, I know people, you, Hayden, you've got already a following. You know, if tomorrow you said I'm leaving YouTube, I'm going to some other platform, there'd probably be a lot of people who would go subscribe over there. I've only been in this a year, so so you know, I may be generally starting from scratch if TikTok shuts down, and if that's if I want to keep putting in the effort with some of the platforms that really require a lot more effort to put together content. So
I think it's worth noting too what does short form content do for amateur radio, and I think maybe that's why a portion of people are hoping to glean from this. I have my thoughts on that, but you know, I'd be curious to hear what others may feel on it too. For me, the short form, like, let me find something that is radio adjacent and people that are radio adjacent. You know, there's a whole community of tinkerers and experimenters that may find SDRs interesting or Raspberry Pis interesting or something like that. And I've done videos on those topics and how they pertain to radio. And I've had a lot of people say, I have heard of this ham radio thing, or is this still popular? People still do this. And I've had a lot of interactions like that. I've had a lot of interactions of people saying, I've always wanted to do that, but I don't know how, I don't know where. And so, you know, I direct people to resources so that they can go find that information. So to me, it's more it's putting ham radio in a good light where it can, you know, people can be exposed to it, can understand it, because if you don't know what it is at all, well, you don't know. You may be doing things that are adjacent to it, but have no understanding of it. Or maybe you have some kind of understanding of it, but your scope and your exposure is really limited. So I can use a 1 to 5 minute video to broaden your understanding and exposure of it. So that's kind of what I feel what this format does for the hobby that we all enjoy.
I see a ham radio hobo said Rumble, and I think Russell Brand went on Rumble. I haven't looked into Rumble at all, but I guess that the fact Russell Brand's on it probably means it has a good free spirit to it.
You're a Russell Brand fan?
Well, I mean, I think he's very good with the material that he brings forward, but more that, I mean, he's had censorship issues. So the fact that he's on Rumble probably means that it's not very censored on there, you know.
I just want to acknowledge TC Fitz as well for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. We usually do a bit of a. We're gonna bring dancing back to YouTube from TikTok because we usually play music and dance every time we get a super chat. So, unfortunately, because it's a TikTok live stream today, we're gonna have that. So, thank you very much, TC Fits. The other thing is too, I will mention, and we'll do this quickly because we're going to go through all of your channels. The first thing is that Sarah, you're trying to save up for an IC 7300, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Because what's your current radio?
I have an IC 730.
A 730. So you're just missing a zero, right?
Yeah, just missing a zero.
So you're just missing a zero. So what we're going to do is today, any super chats that come in, we'll forward it on to you towards your 7300 fund, so that you can purchase your 7300 or hopefully get it a bit quicker. Because you've been doing a few things. Because you've been doing a few things on your channel. We'll start off with yours and we'll go through everybody's. So if there's any super chats, they'll go to Sarah. We've been talking about, you've been doing, I think it's a CW, is it a CW chart that you've been selling?
Yes. So yeah, I actually have it right here. So I made a Morse code poster. You can see, I don't know why I'm blurry. There we go. Basically, it's like a retro poster for your ham shack, and you can actually purchase it on my website and as a digital download, and any of the proceeds to that have been going towards my ham radio fund. And I also have a little tracker on my website as well that has that. So this is really generous. Thank you guys so much.
That's right. We've got a few more rolling in. We've set off the chat now. The $5 super sticker from Central Coast Amateur Radio Club, good friends of mine. Thank you for that. Evan's even chucked in $10 there. Lionel, TC Fitz has gone up with the 50.
Oh my gosh.
David, Evan with the 25. So thanks guys for rolling those in. We'll get Sarah to that 7300 because it's been a journey. I've been watching your channel for a little while and we've been waiting for it to pop up on your channel. So let's try and get you over the line.
Yeah, that is incredibly generous. Thank you.
So apart from that, what other videos are you doing on TikTok? Apart from this one, which I did, which is a trend video.
Yeah, I do a lot of trends actually. That's what got me into TikTok for ham radio. I've always been a TikTok user, and I saw a trend that immediately in my head I thought of doing it for ham radio. So then I was like, let's just do it. And I did, and it went really well. And so I just started to kind of get more into it. And most of my content is trend related, but I've kind of been branching out and following my journey as well. I've been currently trying to learn Morse code, so I've been doing some videos on my progress with that. I've had some issues with my radio that I've talked to TikTok about, and TikTok was amazing because they helped me figure out the issue of my radio. They even sent me a mic, which was perfect. So I've done just a lot of following my journey while also bringing it into the trends of TikTok.
Yeah, cool. And like you've even got stuff like how to get a vanity call and other more, sort of educational type stuff as well. So good stuff. Thank you very much. We've got Andy as well. Andy, £5 super chat, and Roger also with another $10 for the 7300 fund. So thanks, guys. This is the good thing about when you put out the call to the ham radio community, people step up. So it's really good to see. So thanks, Sarah. Let's have a chat to Evan. Let's have a look at your channel. Let's talk about yours.
All right. So I'll explain kind of how I got to this point first. Like most people in my age bracket, so millennials, 30 plus, I downloaded TikTok being bored, cooped up in my house during COVID, watched a lot of videos, found a handful of, of course, you find the one non-ham radio video. But, so I downloaded it and, I saw some value in it like everyone else did. I started finding more creators that were focusing on technology and radio. And I did one video about the buzzer, UVB 76. And I I didn't expect it to go anywhere. I really didn't. I did it in about 20 minutes. I had a few video and audio clips, and then I explained what was going on. And that video I think is now sitting at about 600,000 views. And it got there very quickly. And I kind of thought, I have dabbled in content creation with YouTube and other places many times, and maybe this is the medium that works well for me. And so I started actually kind of taking it seriously. So I have a few different things that I do. I try and pick, things that are adjacent to radio, as well as the meat and potatoes of it. I do a decent amount of trends. I try and do educational content. I've done a couple on SDRs, a couple on police scanners. I did a few on, how to set up your radio to talk on a repeater. And then, of course, stuff like this, which is very trend-based. So for those of you who don't know what a trend is, there's a trend is basically a video format. It could be an audio clip. It could be a video clip. And then I kind of take that and, adapt it to ham radio. And that's kind of stuff that, tends to catch people's attention. These are all original memes, by the way. So like I said the other day, I try and do, what am I doing in radio? What interests me? What is radio adjacent that somebody who is, a hobby that they're enjoying now that's adjacent to our hobby, and they may find value in amateur radio. And then I do post some meme content because, a lot of times people are on there on their lunch break and just looking for a way to pass the time, get a chuckle out of it. So I do some very niche ham radio humor as well.
Very good. Well, thanks, Evan. I noticed, as you mentioned, the number stations and the buzzers and that sort of videos, they did very well. That sort of kick-started you, I think, on that, and they're very interesting to a lot of people. One of my friends on YouTube here, Ringway Manchester, does a lot of that stuff, and people just find it absolutely fascinating. So, all right, we'll head over to we'll keep the number one TikToker for ham radio till last. So we'll go to Zach first, and then we'll have a look at Glam Ham. But tell us a little bit. Your channel's a little bit different, isn't it, Zach? Because you do sort of radio, but then you do networking and you do other technology and all sorts of stuff, don't you?
Yeah, that's correct. So that's one of the things that's different from the other everyone else here is that I'm not only dedicated to ham radio. I'm kind of looking at this from a STEM and mostly just what interests me, and everyone else can come along for the ride. So in my day-to-day job, I'm actually a computer network engineer. So working with switches, routers, firewalls, all that kind of stuff. And there's just as much of a following in that. To be honest, a lot of the videos have actually gotten hundreds of thousands of views and whatnot have actually been some of my networking content, usually data closets that look horrendous. But no, I just kind of found that there's a bit of a niche. How do you want to say
niche?
Niche.
People
yes,
say niche. People say niche. It's.
But there's the ham talk community, and then there's the tech talk community, or IT, and so those are the two kind of groups I follow. So sysadmin, networking, computer programmers, and then ham radio. And I find that or at least I hope that by kind of doing a mix of the content, that I'm exposing amateur radio to people who never would have thought of it or thought about it as outdated, and for people who are, old and, it's the old technology. And I've been really kind of trying to break down that stereotype that, it's old technology. It has no use for the modern world. And really what drew me into amateur radio was because as a network engineer, I'm dealing with Wi-Fi, and so there is radio all around us. I made a recent video responding to someone's comment where they said that radio is dead, and I said, tell me you don't understand that Wi-Fi and cellular and satellite are all radio technologies, without really telling me. So I sent you a link there. I realized back in 2022, one of my earlier videos, I stitched a video you made, and made made a little satire about some of the 80 meters, talking about colonoscopies and all that. So it's just we sometimes have fun. We make gag videos, and other times I make informational content about what's going on. So
I noticed you've up here. You had a Arcom RC210 repeater controller. I've got one of these. So these are a good little unit.
Yeah, so a club that I'm with here in central Pennsylvania, we were working on a project to link our repeater with another repeater in where I live. I'm a member of a club that's about 30 minutes to the south in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But the repeater they have is a little bit on the edge of my range. So we are linking with another club's repeater that really didn't have a lot of activity on it. So this is an example of, as I'm kind of experiencing ham radio or whatever I'm doing, I try to, make little videos that bring everyone along for the ride. And sometimes it might be a little memey with some music or whatnot. Other times it's just an explanation of what's going on. So
cool. I did forget to mention that in the description below there is links to all of your TikTok channels. So if anyone is interested in checking them out, then they are in the link in the description below. So thanks, Zach. So now we move on to the number one, as far as I understand, ham radio TikToker, who you've been having a lot of success lately, and you get upwards of 500 people on your live stream sometimes. It's absolutely crazy. Tell us a little bit about your channel.
I mean, it's just over a year old. To be honest with you, my goal was to get to 10,000. I thought that'll be really cool for a niche like ham radio to get to 10,000. So I'm pretty blown away at the numbers that it's at now. In the lives, what I'm amazed at sometimes, there'll be at times over 1,000 people, and at the end, literally, because I tend to go live for quite a long time because I lose track of time. Some of the numbers, I'm pretty shocked. I've had over 50,000 people come through lives. And I'm just like, holy smoke, who knew there would be this many people interested in ham radio? They come in, they ask questions. People will say, oh, I'm going to go and have my dinner. And then they come back, So the interest is huge for ham radio. I think I've done about 300 videos now in a year. And I love making the videos. I'm very nerdy. I love tech. I love an excuse to play with tech. I love my iPad Pro and the pencil and being fussy with edits. This is to do something like this for me. It's meditative to make a little video and make it 29 seconds, but have 20 cuts in it so that it's as informative as possible, or 10 cuts. I enjoy making educational videos, and I just really enjoy every aspect of it. I love playing with the radios. I love making the videos about the radios. It makes me happy. And I have there's a personal thing which I've shared a few times, so I don't mind at all sharing here, but I have PTSD, and at the beginning of the pandemic, it was really bad for various reasons. And I had a stutter, I had really bad shaking, and I've had lives where veterans and first responders and law enforcement open up about how they've got PTSD, and it's been really healing to share that. And ham radio is nice because I don't leave my house, right? So for someone with PTSD, ham radio is great if I want to go out and climb up a peak with a $26 radio or a $2,600 radio. The experience is the same. I'm getting out in the fresh air, and I feel kind of safe with ham radios. So there's many layers of why I like it and why I like sharing it. And I love it when people come in the live and they open up. I mean, some of the symptoms I've had with PTSD, like the shaking, like violent shaking and stuttering, I've never met people who've had that. So to have people in the live going, hey, I got back from Iraq and I had this, I had the shaking and I had the stuttering. And these poor veterans, they were sharing, they can't even talk to anybody because they're under these top secret things. They can't even go to a normal therapist, you know. So the live they turn into these really sort of pseudo ham radio therapies that are kind of just really fun and healing. So everything's been a very positive experience for me on TikTok. And I'm just really like humbled by the growth. I really am. I did not expect this growth for sure. So.
Yeah, you're doing a fantastic job. Do envy you a little bit with the videos such as this with the 7610 that you've just acquired, which you're very proudly showing off here. So
well, that I deliberately, you know, Evan was saying about trends. There was a ridiculous filter. I'm sure Sarah knows it, called Bold Glamour. I mean, look at it. It's ridiculous. So I openly say, I'm trying this ridiculous filter. Like, it was so ridiculous. It makes you look nothing like yourself. But then the one after that, which I was really thrilled, I did the unboxing, is the one. This was really popular. Like, I think at least 16,000 people have watched me open this box, which is kind of like, now granted, I open it very passionately.
well, see, there's always the joke of unboxing videos that some hams like them, other hams don't like them. They do come in handy, though, if you ever need to sell the radio and put it back in the box. You can watch it in reverse to figure out how to put it back in the box, because I don't know if you're the same. Any product you buy to try and put it back the way it was, almost impossible. So...
I mean, I'm really nerdy just looking at this, like, it's ridiculous, you know. I'm openly telling people I'm never going to read the manual. But it's just fun being nerdy and letting your own self come out in these videos, you know, because you're just being yourself. Nobody's there going, like, if somebody was watching me make that unboxing, they'd go, nobody's going to care about the cardboard. But I care about the cardboard. I care that it was cut in a dovetail, like somebody thought to make a dovetail, not just a straight right angle. To me, that'll stop me dead in my tracks. You know, so it's good that nobody's there watching us. Everything would be ruled out before I even made a video, you know.
And who likes peeling the plastic off the screen as well? That's the...
Oh my gosh. Do you know, I've had people almost have their own PTSD writing to me and DM going, I would have never took that off. I would have never took that plastic off. Like, people are traumatized. When I'm touching it with my fingers, people are like sweating.
Oh, are we going to get a live
Zach's going to do it live.
Yeah.
We're going to do it live.
How much?
The green screen's struggling a bit, though.
Put it in front of you. Let's try that.
Hold on, I'm trying to. There we go. Can you see it?
Oh, don't waste it. We got it.
When I did that on my FTDX10, that was the whole video was like ASMR removing the screen protector. That was the whole video, and I think it got like 4,000 views. It was absurd. I just had the camera like cropped in close on it, and I had a microphone sitting on top of the radio so you could hear that peeling sound. People are funny, man. People are funny. I love it.
But see, you get that, and then you get the complete opposite where you'll leave it on and you'll have, you know, it's been on for a while and you've got the air bubbles underneath, and people will be like, why haven't you removed it yet? What are you doing? What is wrong with you? So you get the opposite as well.
Another TikToker that is in my area, W3MSB, he got an R7 a while ago, and he had the screen protector on, and he keep getting comments saying, remove that, remove that. And he just kind of kept dragging on, kind of irking people because of it. But
we might have just stumbled on the actual most controversial topic in ham radio.
Yeah.
I think it is. Forget Baofangs, to keep the screen protector or to remove it. That is the controversy in ham radio. I think that's an untapped topic.
Yeah.
I
maybe there's
expect
an aftermarket for. aftermarket for adding screen protectors to your radio.
Yeah. I expect everyone's now going to go and do a TikTok video on the controversy of removing the screen protector.
But you notice how, like, we can buy screen protectors for our iPhones. You would think that all of this would be standard, that you could buy screen protectors for all of these ICOM radios. I'm shocked it's not a standard thing, you know. By the way, I just want to say, Hayden, when I was on your podcast, your show the first time, we all did this. So I got mine ready. So does everybody have one?
I've
don't
got
have
a
a
signal
signal
stick. Any
Dark signal stick. Look, and
any handheld antenna will do. You can't exactly do that with a bow thing. It's too rigid. It doesn't flex. It's got no
But
flex.
I remember because Hayden kept putting music on it, and he didn't tell us ahead of time. He was just like, "You have to dance now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, really?
Speaking of which, we've got about another 9 minutes left in the stream, because I know that you're going to go to do a TikTok live shortly, Glam Ham. So everyone can go and join that. But if you want to see us dance again, I'm giving you some warning this time. If you want to see us dance again and wiggle our signal sticks, then don't forget that all the super chats today are going towards Sarah's 7,300, and we've already got a few in there. So thank you for everyone who's donated. I feel very silly talking while I'm doing this, but I'm actually surprised that the camera's keeping up on the frame rate with it. So,
little film trivia here. If this was to go more than 24 times per second, we would not be able to see it, because that is
really?
that's how they come up with the film rate.
Like this.
Wait, where'd it go?
I feel like someone's eye's going to get poked out by doing that. So it is a bit of a hazard.
See, people got ripped off for the dances. That I can understand why, Ham Radio Tectonics is saying, like, hey, we owe at least 9 dances. Like, really, the end of this whole show should just be some grand finale.
Well, they all come in thick and fast. It was very, very hard to keep up with it. So we can definitely do one for those other 9. So. There we go. Done.
For everyone saying TikTok is just dances, we're just going to bring it to YouTube. There you go. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's a nice little YouTube space you have here. Shame something bad happened to it.
Who said Wingardium Leviosa?
Well, I was going to say, can we honestly say that if you go to any of our TikTok channels, you're not going to see any dancing videos whatsoever?
Yes.
I don't think I can honestly say that.
There's none on mine.
No. Oh, really? There isn't any on yours? There might be 1 or 2 on mine.
Yeah, I've definitely got one. I have that chicken, the bad hair day one. That one got me.
Yeah, I kind of deleted that one. I got too embarrassed by mine, so I took that off.
I got embarrassed for you for that one.
Yeah, I know. Luckily, no one watched it, so that's all good. I took that one off.
Oh, I saved it. Don't worry.
Oh, did you? Oh, great.
I don't know.
So it's going to be endlessly there. Thanks, Adam, as well, for the $20 super chat. Adam, you met Adam at... where did you meet? You met Adam, didn't you, Glam Ham?
Oh,
I'm trying to remember.
Yes, I've done videos on Adam. Hi, Adam. Adam has incredible little small radios and accessories that he does, and he builds them, and they're incredible. And his website is his call sign K6ARK. But I did videos on him. So
the end-fed half wave, the tiniest end-fed half wave. We love Adam.
I want one,
Yep.
Adam. I want one.
Adam's a legend.
Somebody put Wingardium Leviosa, and I just, because I've had to keep this secret for like 5 years. Do you know what my secret is that I've had to keep for 5 years? And when they said
I do,
Wingardium,
but I'm keeping quiet.
You do know it. Evan, you know the secret, because I don't have to keep it a secret anymore. So when somebody just said Wingardium Leviosa, I forgot we were holding wands, and that was a logical comment. And I was like, oh my God, it's an insider who knows my secret. They're infiltrating. Is that I'm in 6 years now working on Hogwarts Legacy. So I saw Wingardium Leviosa, and it was like, oh, they're on to me. And they've tracked me down on Hayden's show.
I know, it's just... They're everywhere. Ham Radio Tectonics, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Zach's really getting into it. I'm actually quite impressed.
I'm going to take this over to our live stream on TikTok. I might just start doing dance videos on it. No.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you'll just take off. Dance videos with like coaxial cable or something like that. That's what everyone wants to see.
Radio's a dead hobby anyway, so.
Oh, there it is. Someone had to say it.
Yeah.
I think that the warm reception that it has been receiving from all of us and all of our efforts on there, the number of people that watch it, repost it, comment on it, is proof that it not only is it not dead, but it's growing with a completely new group of people. And that makes me happy. So I've been enjoying the heck out of this hobby for 15, 16 years now. And it's cool to see it progressing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think there was a comment earlier that we seemed all pretty young for hams. And I think that's just a sign that the hobby is shifting. And especially during COVID, a lot of people learned about ham radio. A lot of people got involved in ham radio, and the dynamic is definitely changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I got into it in COVID.
Yeah. A lot of people have discovered it in the last couple of years for sure. Sort of, and that's around about the same time TikTok started to become popular too. So sort of went hand in hand, didn't it? All right, a couple more minutes. Any closing comments from any of you?
Well, I just want to say thank you guys so much. Like, this is so incredibly generous, and it just shows how amazing the ham radio community is. So thank you again.
Hopefully, I don't think we probably got you, maybe not to 7,300, but we've probably got you to at least 10 Baofangs. So we might be able to, you're a little bit of the way there anyway. So we look forward to seeing a 7,300 on your videos soon. So thank you everyone for your generosity too.
I just wanted to say thank you.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I just want to say thank you as well, for inviting me here. And I know especially in the United States right now, there's a lot of political controversy around TikTok and, division again on the platform. But as an insider using the platform, I really see something, and I think Glam kind of touched on it, of really connecting people in many different ways that you don't see on other platforms, in Facebook, you go there to find people you already know in the real world. In TikTok, I've found friends and people who I never would have come across in 100 years, and even discovered things outside of ham radio. So things about autism. I have a child who's autistic and ADHD, and it really is just a community that comes together and shares ideas and shares, thoughts on the world around us. So regardless of what happens, I hope that community reestablishes somewhere if it does get shut down. But, I really hope we just focus on fixing whatever the problems really are, and the platform can stay around, and we can all stick together. So,
all keep dancing and see how it goes.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, Hayden. You're a good host.
I don't know about that, but anyway. We've had fun, I'm sure, and there has been a few controversial comments in the chat as well, because obviously, as Zach mentioned, it's very much a divisive thing with TikTok at the moment. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's good to see some ham radio creators in that space and pushing people towards the hobby. So it's good. AJ4EO sent another $50 for a super chat. This is and David K. Y4GM. See you guys on TikTok. So thank you very much for your $3 super chat. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate
Did me
it.
dirty on that one, Hayden.
I know. I was waiting for you. That's all. You know that it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. So.
Thank you for putting this together, Hayden. It's a pleasure to join these creators here. Thank you for hosting, and thanks for bringing some visibility to what we do and our efforts to grow the hobby. And that's really what it's all about, is us doing what we can to grow the hobby. And I appreciate you bringing some visibility to it.
No problems at all. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Before we go, are you streaming? You're streaming now, Glam?
Yeah, I'll probably take literally 2 minutes to just go grab a glass of water, and then I'll go live on TikTok.
Okay, cool. So Glam will be live on TikTok. So if you're on the platform, head over and watch her. What are you going to be doing? Just on the radio, just on the 7610 today, just make contacts.
Just wing it. I have new things I'm buying all the time. So I have a battery box with a new battery in it that's got power poles up the wazoo. So I'll be showing that, and of course looking at the radios and being smitten by my own radios for the world to see. So
cool. All right, everyone head over. There's a link in the description again to everyone's TikTok channel who have been on tonight. So check it out. 73 guys. We'll see you later.
you should all come in, and then you say hi as well in there and promote yourselves in my TikTok.
I'll be there. 7-3.
Okay. All right.
I'll fire up the phone.